Hey guys, welcome to another edition of our Children's Ministry podcast. And today I want to talk about how to become a AAA rated leader. And that idea of AAA being just the highest rating that you can get, the very best. How can I be the best leader for the kids in our children's ministry? And so when I think about that AAA idea and children's ministry, here are three qualities of a AAA rated leader. The first one is affection. A AAA rated leader gives appropriate affection. And I know that can be kind of a weird, sketchy thing to talk about in children's ministry, but kids need appropriate affection. And when I think of that idea of affection, there are three things that come to mind. And that's a hug, a handshake, or a high five. And so those would be what I would consider appropriate forms of affection for a kid in our ministry. If they walk up and it's little Billy or Angela or whoever that is, that you would give them a hug, a handshake, or a high five. Probably not a good idea to be shaking a lot of babies or anything like that because that's illegal and weird. But for kids as they get older, that you would give them, hey, a hug, I'm so glad to see you. You give them a hug if you, that kind of relationship with them. Or most kids, it's probably a high five, especially your boys. Handshake's a little weird with kids, but some kids just, especially new kids, that might be a little bit safer for them. But those are some good ways to give kids appropriate affection in our children's ministry. Another A in being a AAA rated leader is affirmation. And Mark Twain once said, I can live for 2 months on one good compliment. And in our last podcast, we talked a little bit more about how to affirm kids, but just that idea that instead of looking for something wrong that a kid has done or just being aware of when they've done something wrong, that we go out of our way to look and be more aware of the things that they're doing that they're right, and telling them about that, and telling their parents about that, and even complimenting them about that in front of their friends. And so just affirming the good things that they are doing. And unfortunately, kids live in a world where adults unfortunately don't talk to them a lot unless they've done something wrong. And so you will be the exception when you go out of your way to affirm the good things that they are doing. And they will want to spend more time with you, and they will want to be around you more, and they will want to listen to the things that you have to say to them. And then lastly, attention. That when you're talking to a kid, that you give them your full attention, that you look into their eyes when you're talking to them, that you use their name, and that you ask them more than yes or no questions. Instead of asking a kid, hey, how was your week? You ask, what was the funnest part of your week? And instead of those yes or no questions, that you ask questions that force a thoughtful response, but a thoughtful response about something that they care about. Like, what was the funnest thing in your week? What was something really cool that you learned? What was something awesome that you watched on TV? And so just talking about those kind of things, that shows that you care about them, and that is giving them really good attention, and that kind of lets them lead the conversation, something that doesn't happen a lot for kids in their relationship with adults. So becoming a AAA rated leader in children's ministry is appropriate affection, which is a hug, handshake, or a high five. It's affirmation, that you go out of your way to tell kids something really cool and awesome and right and good that they have done. And attention, that you look them in the eye, that you use their name often, and that you ask more than yes or no questions. And when you do those three things, you will become a AAA rated leader in our children's ministry.